Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Finches. So today in this video we are going to start with another series of financial modeling where we will learn like how to build a financial model from the case study. There is many times like when you're giving an interview in n number of companies, so 90% of the cases if you are applying for financial modeling role or for the investment banking role, so there are chances like you will get a case study, or I will say there will be a round no named as a case study round where you will be required to solve a case study and have to build a financial model out of it. Okay, so like in the past and from my experiences as well, I have seen like many of the students struggling in this part only. They have cleared all their interviews, all their assessment tests, but the thing is like वो यहाँ पर फंस जाते हैं like how to solve the case study then. उसके लिए उनको किसी की जरूरत होती है क्या फिर they need some guidance. So that's why we are coming up with this series only for those students or those people who want to clear that case study round. They can just go to the YouTube, open Finch's channel, and get to know like we have built a proper 7 to 8 videos of series where we will make you understand like how to solve a case study. Like case study अगर आपके पास आई है, then what is the approach and किस process से we have to run through in order to have a like proper solution for that case study. Okay, so first of all, in this series, like there will be 7 to 8 videos. I have mentioned that, and we will go one by one. Like I have a proper index for you where I have divided this case study series into 6 parts. The part one that is of a today's video where we are going to learn like first of all if we have the case study, अगर हमारे इंटरव्यू से पहले या फिर इंटरव्यू के बाद किसी कंपनी से केस स्टडी हमारे पास आती है, राइट? सो it doesn't make sense कि आपके पास केस स्टडी आया and you start open your Excel and start building a model unless and until जब तक आपको उस केस स्टडी का क्रिस्प नहीं पता कि उस केस स्टडी में है क्या, राइट? सो आपको सबसे पहले यू हैव टू एनालाइज अ केस स्टडी. In the analysis part we will learn like how to know like what all the information we have in the case study, okay, what we need to derive out of it, and what will be the final output that we want out of the financial model जो हमें build करना है, और the valuation model जो हमें बनाना है out of that case study. ठीक है, तो that part we will see in this in today's video कि how to analyze the case study. After that, once we are done with the analysis part कि case study में given क्या है, what all the informations we have, then we need to interpret कि वो information कहाँ use कर सकते हैं. If we have for example like revenue growth rate, okay, for the past 2 years or for the future years, so how we are going to use that revenue growth rate in order to find out or the project any of the line items of the future years. Definitely अगर हमारे पास revenue growth rate given है तो उससे we can use that in order to project or in order to estimate our revenue for the future years, right? This is a like vague example I have taken right now, but when we open a case study we will see like कौन कौन सी information किस किस use पर we can use that information in order to derive or in order to estimate or project any of the line items for the future years. So this is a part one video that is going to be covered in today's video. After that, okay, once we analyze a case study, once we get or interpret all the information given in the case study, then we will start building the base for the financial model. First of all, that is the revenue drivers. Why I am saying like building the base to the revenue drivers or the expense drivers, because revenue is going to be heart and a soul of a financial model. Okay, if you have gone through our previous series of a financial modeling, you must be well aware of that कि once आपके पास revenue आ गया ना, then you can easily go through the every part of the financial model, like whether it is income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, or any other drivers. You can easily build that because most of the things are based on the revenue. So it is quite important for us. We have to properly estimate our revenue. ठीक है, और अगर एस्टिमेट भी कर लिया देन वी शुड हैव अ प्रॉपर जस्टिफिकेशन फॉर एवरी पार्ट ऑफ द रेवेन्यू कि ये रेवेन्यू आया है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट. मतलब जो भी हम एज्यूम कर रहे हैं उसका प्रॉपर जस्टिफिकेशन वी शुड हैव. इट डजंट बी लाइक इन द एयर कि ये है तो इसके बेसिस पे लाइक हमने रेवेन्यू प्रोजेक्ट कर लिया, लाइक फ्यूचर हिस्टोरिकल डाटा है उसका एवरेज निकाला एंड वी हैव प्रोजेक्टेड द रेवेन्यू ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट। ठीक है, वो ठीक है, बट you should have a proper justification for that. Okay. um, Latter part we will see in that video only, like how to build the revenue drivers. Once we are done with that, then we will start building our expense drivers, then depreciation and amortization schedule, and then final the balance sheet assumptions, like what all we need to build the financial balance sheet part. Then in part 6 we will compile all the three statements like income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and final solution for the case study, like whatever the question, whatever the point that we have in the case study, we will answer that in our last video, or we will conclude our case study part. So I guess like till now everything is clear to you guys, like how we are going to proceed with this series. Part 1, that is of a today's video, where we will learn how to analyze the case study, where we will learn like how to interpret all the data given in the case study. Then we will start building a financial model from part 2 or from video 2, that is the video which you will find in the playlist of this financial modeling series, that is building revenue drivers. Now the reason being like why we are building revenue drivers first, because we know revenue is going to be the heart and the soul of a financial model. So that is why we are going to build the revenue drivers first. Then after that, in the next video we will start building our expense drivers, then so on, and final at the video 6 and 7 we will conclude our case study, like this is the final solution of the case study. Okay, so now I am opening up my case study. Okay, so this is my case study that I have taken for your reference, so that you will be able to clear all your case study rounds. Okay, and this is just for your reference, you can practice it, like I will provide all the things necessary for your practice, like this case study practice Excel sheet attached in the description of this video. Okay, so let's start doing the analysis of a case study. First of all, we can see like there's a logo of the Cinepolis. We know like Cinepolis is a well-known company and it is in a multiplex industry, or I will say it is a cinema operating company where it is showing all the movies and all, right? So in the heading it is written like three statement modeling Cinepolis case study. It means like we need to build the three statement, or we need to project three statement like balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement for the Cinepolis for the future years on the basis of information given to us in the case study. All right. So let's see, or let's start doing an analysis of the case study. First of all, a brief overview. Okay. So in this part, it is written like an investor is looking to invest in a company operating in multiplex industry in India, that is Cinepolis. So we know like Cinepolis is a multiplex company, is a company which is operating in multiplex industry. All right, and there is an investor who is looking to invest in Cinepolis. Okay, and he appointed us. He wants फ्रॉम अस कि वो हमसे ये चाहता है कि हम इस कंपनी का एनालाइज करें, फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स बनाकर उसको दें एंड उसको बताएं कि हमारे अकॉर्डिंग इस कंपनी में तेरे को इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए. ऑल राइट, नाउ reading the second line, the company has a pan India network. We all know like Cinepolis has its existence over many cities and over many areas in India. And the most important line here, that is the key competitors for the company are PVR and Inox. We know like PVR and Inox are one of the major players in the multiplex industry. And Cinepolis is also, but before that PVR and Inox are the major players, right? So investor also told us कि उन्होंने ये भी बता दिया कि जो competitors हैं Cinepolis के वो PVR and Inox हैं. Now think like why investor or why the case study has given to us this information कि वो PVR और Inox हमारे competitor हैं. ठीक है, अगर ये information हमारे पास नहीं होती, okay, and in case when we are building our model, whether income statement, balance sheet or cash flow statement, and we need certain data from its competitor, whether it is an LTM, हमें कुछ भी चाहिए, ठीक है, from its competitor. So अगर अगर ये डेटा नहीं होता कि पीवीआर और आइनॉक्स अपने को केस स्टडी में नहीं गिवन होता, सो इट्स टोटली डिपेंड अपॉन अस, और हमारी विश के अकॉर्डिंग हम कोई भी कॉम्पिटिटर मल्टीप्लेक्स इंडस्ट्री का उठा सकते थे अकॉर्डिंग टू द सिनेपोलिस के कंपैरिजन का, राइट? Like the right comparable companies for the Cinepolis, we can take it on the basis from the multiplex industry, ठीक है? But now the information is given in the case study कि the competitors for the Cinepolis is PVR and Inox only. So anytime in the between of the financial model we need any data from the competitor, so we directly open the annual reports, quarterly reports, or the any type of a report of the PVR and Inox, and we have to take the data only of the PVR and Inox only. All right. Then moving ahead, the company's net sale reached rupees 1,250 million in the most recent fiscal year, and it has an operating margin of 13 to 14% historically. Now the case study is given telling us like we have an historical data, okay, जहाँ पर उसने बोला है the current year revenue for the Cinepolis is 1,250 million, okay, and उसका operating margin is 13 to 14% रहा है. Like if we are considering 2 year historical data, तो उसने अपने को operating margin बता दिया that is 13 to 14%. कि operating margin means it's EBIT margin. EBIT margin is around like 13 to 14% on an average, इतना रहता है. Okay, on this information is given to us and it totally depends upon us कि हम इस information का कैसे use करते हैं in order to build a financial model. Okay, इस paragraph से we came to know there is an investor who want to invest into multiplex, a company who is operating in multiplex industry जिसका नाम Cinepolis है. Got it? The second point that we got to know is the key competitor for Cinepolis is PVR and Inox. Okay. The third thing that we noticed is the last year revenue for the company is 1,250 million. Okay. And the fourth thing that we got to know is operating margin. On an average, it remains around 13 to 14%. Got it? Now, reading the second paragraph, that is it is telling us to us like it has 320 million of debt currently and its long term debt to EBITDA target is 1.2x. Now what does it mean? It is telling to us कि जो debt level है of the last fiscal year, जो हमने last fiscal year consider करेंगे, is 320 million. Okay, and its debt to EBITDA target ratio is 1.2x. What does it mean? इसका मतलब है if the company earns like 100 of an EBITDA, then debt level should be of 120. कि अगर debt level 120, अगर कंपनी का EBITDA यानी अर्निंग बिफोर इंटरेस्ट एंड टैक्स एंड डेप्रिसिएशन अगर 100 का है, देन उसका डेट लेवल 120 तक का हो सकता है. if it is breaching that level like 120 से 125 हो गया, 130 हो गया, then it is a red flag for that company. So in that case, investor is not advised to invest in the Cinepolis because investor चाहता है उसका debt to EBITDA target ratio should be between or should be less than 1.2x. It can be 1x. It means like if the company is earning like 100 of EBITDA, then debt level अगर 100 का है, it should be fine. ठीक है, बट इट कांट बी बियॉन्ड 120, लाइक 121 भी नहीं हो सकता, 125 भी नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, देन इट विल बी अ रेड फ्लैग. ओके, नाउ द हिस्टोरिकल एंड प्रोजेक्टेड फाइनेंशियल्स ऑफ द कंपनी आर गिवन बिलो. ठीक है, हमारे पास कंपनी के फाइनेंशियल्स भी हैं. नाउ लेट्स सी लाइक what type of a financials, what type of a line items we have. First of all, there is an income statement in which we have an historical data of fiscal year 21, fiscal year 22. That is 1,000, 1,250. All the things are in million. Okay, and it is a sales figure. And for the future year as well, we have the sales figure with us. That is till fiscal year 27. We have the sales figure with us. That is 1,550 for fiscal year 23, 1,856 for fiscal year 24, and till fiscal year 27. That is 2,870 million. All right, then we have a gross profit, EBITDA, profit after tax, depreciation, tax, tax rate is given to us, interest rate is given to us. So all these things will help us in making our income statement with ease when we are building our financial model. ठीक है, हम जब नेक्स्ट वीडियो करेंगे लाइक बिल्डिंग आवर रेवेन्यू ड्राइवर्स, एक्सपेंस ड्राइवर्स, सो हम ये सब देखेंगे कि लाइक हाउ वी आर यूजिंग दिस ऑल इंफॉर्मेशन in order to build our model. Okay, now moving ahead to the balance sheet part. In the balance sheet we have only five items given to us, that is net fixed assets. Net fixed assets means like after deducting accumulated depreciation from it, we have a net fixed asset that is of 500 and 550 for the historical years. For the projected years we have to like project it. All right, then we have non-cash working capital. Okay, then we have debt, then we have cash, then we have net worth. We will see like how we will use this information in order to build our model. Now what this case study says, in this case study you will complete a 3-statement projection model for the company and use it to answer several short questions about its business model and financial performance. Please use the following assumptions and build the Excel financial model. Let's see like what all assumptions we have. The part 1 of the case study is saying that we have an assumptions following the existing assumptions that have been entered into Excel and either extend existing historical trends or use average percentages if no clear trend exists. This line states that if we have the assumptions, so we can follow that assumption, we can follow that trend for the future years as well. बट अगर हमें कोई क्लियर इंफॉर्मेशन गिवन नहीं है, अगर हमारे पास कोई क्लियर डाटा गिवन नहीं है, सो हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हम हिस्टोरिकल ईयर के बेसिस पर एवरेज लेकर फ्यूचर ईयर्स के कोई भी लाइन आइटम है उसको हम प्रोजेक्ट कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो ये लाइन हमें बता दी है तो हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं व्हेन वी आर बिल्डिंग अ फाइनेंशियल मॉडल. ओके, नाउ moving ahead to the second paragraph, that is overall revenue is expected to decline as given in the income statement and operating margin expected to be in line with its competitors. Now here the like operating margins are given to us. It means like we have an operating margin of 13 to 14% historically when we initially started our case study analysis, right? Now it is saying that its operating margins are expected to be in line with its competitors. We know like PVR and Inox are the two competitors of Cinepolis, right? So whatever the operating margins of the PVR of the Inox, that operating margins will be of ours. मतलब उनका ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन भी हमारा ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन होगा. ठीक है, अगर उनका ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन 30% है, 20% है, देन 20 to 30% ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन हमारे भी होंगे. ठीक है, इन केस ऑफ आर सिनेपोलिस. द इफेक्टिव टैक्स रेट उसने बता दिया दैट विल बी 30% and company's working capital requirement may change slightly but won't significantly affect its cash flow profile. That is a irrelevant line to us and we didn't, हम इस पे ज़्यादा फोकस नहीं करेंगे. And then coming to the last line, that is company has 35 screens and will increase the screens in line with the revenue growth. इसने बोला कि कंपनी के पास अभी 35 screens हैं, okay, and that number of screens going to increase in the future, which that is to be in line with the revenue growth. जैसा हमारा रेवेन्यू जा रहा है वैसे ही हमारा स्क्रीन्स की ग्रोथ हो रही है और रेवेन्यू पर स्क्रीन इंक्रीज हो रहा है. ठीक है, इसने हमें 3% पर एनम ग्रोथ रेट इन रेवेन्यू पर स्क्रीन भी दिया हुआ है. ओके, सो वी विल यूज दिस इंफॉर्मेशन एज वेल इन ऑर्डर टू derive our certain things when we are building our financial model. The last assumption that we have is cost of setting up one screen. जैसे उसने बोला ना 35 स्क्रीन सेटअप करनी है, तो एक एडिशनल स्क्रीन को खरीदने के लिए उसको 25 मिलियन रुपए लगेंगे. लाइक one screen is of around 25 lakh and that 25 lakhs, that 25 millions, sorry, 2.5 crores, that 2.5 crores will be funded by debt or the internal accruals. Whether it will be funded by debt or from the retained earnings or from the equity, it depends on the company. Okay, so we have all these assumptions. Now what we need to give to an investor, we need to advise the investor whether it is a good investment option compared to its competitor, compared to PVR और Inox. क्या इन्वेस्टर को सिनेपोलिस में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए, क्या उसको इंस्टेड ऑफ अ सिनेपोलिस पीवीआर और आइनॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. That we will see in the next upcoming videos. We will start building a model from the revenue drivers. So this is all about our case study that we have done in this video, and hope you all guys get it. And if you really like it, please comment, like, and subscribe our channel. Thank you.